Alright, so for this week's Walk and Talk, many of you know I'm heading back to Delmarva this week. I'm leaving on Thursday. And on the topic of Delmarva, I want to talk to everybody about something annoying in Delaware that I cannot stand, and especially my father, because we've been dealing with this issue for many years. I think it's time to talk about it. I'm talking about speed traps. You know, those speed traps I'm talking about. One example is right after you're on 13, right? So me and my folks, we like going to this diner in Seaford called the Stargate Diner. It's about an hour away from our condo in Ocean City. We like going there just for the heck of it because there's a Walmart that's, you know, obviously Delaware, there's no sales tax, but it's about 40 minutes from where we're going to be staying this time in Dover, because we rent out our condo, of course, in the summer to tenants. So, if you know what I'm talking about, if you are in Kent or Sussex County, and you know what I'm talking about, right after the racetrack in Harrington, they have that stupid, annoying speed trap, where 1 minute you're doing, let's say, I don't know, 55 miles an hour, and all of a sudden, the speed limit goes to freaking 35. Seriously, how does the state of Delaware get away with it? How? That's what I've always wondered for many years. They've been doing this crap for years. Oh, well, we purposely want to do this to you. Folks, here in New York, we always have one steady speed limit. Alright? I never see it happen in New Jersey. Never. When I go through Jersey, normally on the New Jersey Turnpike, it's 65 miles an hour. I'll give another example. Alright, how about 113 in Georgetown, huh? Like, you're doing 50 miles an hour through Georgetown, and on 113, they tell you to slow down. It's so annoying. And another example, past Fenwick Island, you go on Bethany Beach on Route 1 on Coastal Highway, right? And I've dealt with this many times heading up north from Ocean City going into Rehoboth Beach for the day. It never happens when we come from Dover, when we take Route 1 straight to Rehoboth Beach. It never happens, everyone. They purposely find a way to screw people at specific points just to get into Ocean City or just to get into Salisbury, the main hub of Delmarva. It never happens in Wicomico or Worcester in Maryland. But apparently, and I noticed this a lot, I really think it's Sussex County Delaware trying to screw people. I don't think it's particularly Kent County where Dover is. So I'm urging lawmakers in Sussex County, Delaware, please, and I'm asking you, please review these speed traps. It's not fair to the drivers. There should be one set speed limit on all highways in Delaware. The speed limit should be 55 miles an hour, a state law in Delaware. I am sick and tired every summer of dealing with these speed traps. Even my dad has gotten to a point where he feels like banging his head on the steering wheel. I can understand that. It's aggravating. How do you people in Sussex County, Delaware deal with it every time you go on the main highways? Either it's Coastal Highway, 113, or DuPont Highway. How do you folks deal with this? Comment below if you have to deal with this in Delaware, because honestly, every freaking summer, I have to deal with this. Every year. It never stops. And I even looked up this issue on one of the travel websites. And I agree with people. You know, Delaware as a whole, I think maybe, I don't know if it's true or not, but it always happens in Sussex County. Always happens in Sussex when you're going into Worcester or Wicomico, trying to get into Maryland. It's very inconvenient. It's not fair to the peninsula. I think they need to, again, make the speed limit 55 miles an hour all throughout the highway. And even near the firehouse in Harrington, It should be the same thing too. Why is the speed limit 35 miles an hour? It's not fair. I've said too much. Because honestly, again, Delaware loves to play their same old politics, huh? See, it took Delaware years to get tax breaks for the casinos. They almost legalized marijuana last week. They almost legalized cannabis in Delaware. So why can't those people in Dover realize that people in Sussex County and the people who travel through Sussex County are sick and tired of dealing with permanent speed traps? Again, it never happens in New York. We have one set speed limit in the city of New York. It is 25 miles an hour, which is reasonable because you have kids walk all over the place. And then on the LIE in the Northern State, the speed limit's 55. Why can't they make that a law in Delaware? We have it in New York. We have it in New York. And same thing with Jersey. The speed limit's 65 miles an hour on the New Jersey Turnpike. It's always a set, steady speed limit. Delaware, this is my message to you. When you get back in the legislative session, please, I am urging you, Delaware House, Delaware Senate, please reconsider making a law for Route 1, Route 113, and DuPont Highway for it to be strictly 55 miles an hour. It's not too much to ask. And I don't want to hear the House leader from Rehoboth Beach complaining, oh, we can't do it, sorry. Well, you better do it because people like me, every year going through Delaware, feel insulted. We have to go through these stupid speed traps. It's a disgrace. And one quick thing, I have a GPS that tells me where the speed traps are. They tell me where the speed traps are and where the cameras are. Remember those old sharper image things that you used to have? I remember seeing them years ago where you just use it and you would, you would just figure out where the speed traps are because my cousin has that. He uses it in upstate New York for purposes I'm not going to say at the moment, but if Delaware were to ban them, I don't know how bad that would be. If Delaware were to ban them, that would be awful because the only state in the union that bans the speed trap radars are Virginia. And that's another reason why I refuse to go to Virginia unless I'm just going to Genesee. Because at least I know the speed limit very well going into Genesee. Or everywhere else, if I try to go into the Hampton Roads area or Williamsburg or anywhere else in Virginia, I can't deal with it anymore. I can't. I mean, I understand the speed limit on 64. It's exactly 65 miles an hour. But again, Delaware doesn't know what they're doing. Especially Sussex County. They really don't have any common sense to at least consider that it's a highway. It is a highway. And Delaware is just looking for any means to find any extra revenue. I understand that Delaware has no sales tax. There's no sales tax. But there are other ways of making money in Delaware without screwing people. There are other ways of doing it. The state needs to come up with it. I think one positive direction was, again, the tax breaks for the casinos. Very good. About time they got them. But don't screw the drivers, please. All right, so I've said too much. You know, I wanted to make this rant because next week I'm not going to be able to do it while I'm in Delmarva. And honestly, it's telling everybody the way it is in Delaware. Nobody even talks about it, and I want this discussion to continue. I'm going to talk to my fellow Delmarvans about this in the future because, you know, it's an issue that affects all of us. In Maryland, where I live, where everybody comes through, the tourists, it's just not fair for them. It's just not fair for them. So that's where I'm going to end it. I just don't have anything else to say at this point. I've gotten everything out. I'm glad I did. So that's it. Next walk and talk will be when I get back from Delmarva. It'll be a different topic, I promise. So the next one, take care.